everyone, and welcome back to my channel for the third installment in my Honoring the Season series for the Winter Solstice, also referred to as Yule. Winter is the coldest and darkest season. It's a time of retreat, rest, introspection, healing, and release. Many celebrate holidays this time of year, which can bring an element of warmth and beauty to the chill and longer nights of this season. Though it can be icy and harsh, winter is very much beautiful. Snowflakes, powder white snow, the contrast of bright red berries or an enchanting cardinal against the white, glittering canvas of the season, and the way twinkle lights tend to seemingly shimmer that much more captivatingly in the darkness of a winter night. Allow these beautiful signatures of this season to serve as a reminder that we can find beauty and light even in the depths of the darkest day of the year. The winter solstice is the longest night of the year, opposite to the summer solstice, which holds the longest day. Rather than the feelings of growth and expansion represented in summer, winter is the ultimate retreat inwards. It is the harshest of the seasons and bids us to take time to rest, recuperate, and release that which weighs on us so we may be well rested, renewed, and ready for the blooming that comes in nature in the coming spring season. Join me today as I share with you the practices and activities I have chosen to honor this seasonal shift with and the special ways I'm connecting to the magical energy of winter. So keep watching and let's get into it. My husband and I take a trip to the mountains this time of year every year, and I use this opportunity to collect a couple of things to use for my altar and take a walk in nature in a place where I'm really able to unplug and connect to nature on a deeper level. I absolutely love going to the mountains. I think it's so beautiful. And though there was no snowfall yet when we went up, I thought it was just the perfect place to retreat to and start getting me thinking about winter and what the winter season means for me. So obviously, you may not be able to go to the mountains, or maybe you don't live in a place that feels like you really get winter, but take this opportunity, as always, to go outside and just observe the changes happening in nature. I will always recommend this at the seasonal shifts because the whole point here is to get connected to what's happening in nature. I think it's something that the modern world has really moved too far away from. So take this time to really reconnect to nature. So I decided to make a simmer pot, which this was actually my first time making a simmer pot, and I'm obsessed with these. I'm probably going to make another one of these very soon and every year going forward. You want to start by filling a pot with water. Don't fill it all the way. You want to make sure that you have room for all of the ingredients you're going to be dropping into that simmer pot. And you want to prep some items to drop into that simmer pot, whatever you like. I wanted something that was going to smell very wintry and things that I associate with winter. So some of the things I started with were slices of orange, cranberry, and sliced apple as well. And you want to take all of that and drop it into your pot. And I also added some cloves to add another spicy element. I added several different spices to this because I like the way that it smells. I added a couple bay leaves as well, and I added some star anise. I added a few of those, and some cinnamon sticks that I used to just kind of stir things up in the pot and get everything sort of working. And this was the best part in my opinion. I added a couple different types of winter greens into the mix. I bought a bunch of winter greens from Trader Joe's. Get your stove going at a low heat. This is a simmer pot. The whole thing with these is to just sort of sit and wait. Let it do its thing for a long time. I actually kept my simmer pot for a couple of days. I think it was 2 or 3 days I was able to use it for. I would just put the lid on it when I wasn't using it, but it made the house smell amazing. There was the most incredible Christmas aroma throughout the house, so I highly recommend giving this a try. It was so easy to do and really not that expensive if you think about how much a scented candle costs, so I hope you try this out. And obviously, I feel this goes without being said, or it should go without being said, but just so you know, please be mindful if you're turning something on the stove and leaving it there. Don't leave your house without turning it off. don't leave it going for too long, all of those things, just be smart, but I feel like I just have to mention it just in case, so please be careful when doing this. Since winter is the season of introspection and reflection, I decided to do a meditation to help me connect to how I'm going to focus on those energies within myself this season. I started by smudging myself as well as my crystals I'm working with, using a variety of different types of smudge, white sage of course, but also juniper, cedar, Palo Santo, and the twig of a fir tree, and really using all these different smudges simply to bring in scents that I associate with winter. For me, the smell of trees really reminds me of winter, especially that Christmas tree smell, so that's why I use so many. I also grabbed some of my favorite hermit cards from different decks that I could use for a visual aid to help me focus on how I'm connecting to that energy that I really associate with winter through the hermit card. And I also wanted to utilize sound for this meditation, so I started by using a singing bowl. The one that I chose to use is associated with the root chakra to really help me ground, especially since winter is associated with the element of earth. I wanted to connect to that earth grounding energy at the start of the meditation. So I just played that for a moment, took a few deep cleansing breaths, and then started grabbing my crystals that I'm going to work with throughout the meditation to connect with. The crystals I'm working with are candle quartz, garnet, and golden healer quartz to help me connect to energies of illumination, inner light, healing, and grounding, since those are the energies I'm wanting to focus on. And if you're interested in doing a meditation similar to what I did, what I basically did was I created a visualization for myself that I mapped out ahead of time. So what I visualized was that I was in a forest that was covered in snow in the heart of winter. I visualized myself walking through this forest, taking in the winter scenery all around me and how it affects nature. And I visualized that as I was walking through the forest, in the distance, I noticed a little cottage or cabin that had this beautiful, warm, glowing light emanating from the windows of it that I walked towards and had the sense of knowing that this cottage or cabin was there for me. Visualize a little cottage or cabin that you feel very drawn to and connected to. Think of this as your own personal place of retreat. Now, because I am focusing on working with the Hermit card throughout this meditation, I did visualize that there was a lantern placed right next to the door of the cabin right before entering, since the lantern is a symbol that I really associate with the Hermit. Upon entering this cottage, visualize a place that is really comforting and inviting for you personally and the things that you associate with this time of year. I personally celebrate Christmas and I love Christmas. And so for me, winter is all about the decorations and the smells of this time of year. And I also visualized just a really cozy, inviting space that just looked like somewhere I would want to be. I visualized that there was a fireplace going with a big, beautiful fire. And what I did at this point was I visualized sitting down in front of that fire and focusing in on the flickering and dancing of the flames. And as you focus on that fire that's flickering and glowing in front of you, take that moment to focus on your own inner light, your own inner fire that glows within you, and ask yourself what feeds that fire within you. And also ask yourself what's prohibiting that fire from burning brightly. Think about the parallel between this warm burning fire and the harsh cold of winter happening outside of this place. Things are frozen, it's cold, a lot of nature is dead this time of year. And I like to think of what that means for me and how I relate to winter. If winter has caused trees to lose the last of their leaves that remain from autumn, I think of it as a shedding. Winter is a critical time of year for us to shed that which is weighing us down in order for us to be able to move forward into spring with the power and lightness to grow and expand as nature grows and expands. Ask yourself, what are the things in your life that you need to release? What are the things that weigh you down? And imagine all of the things that weigh you down falling away from you like leaves falling off a tree. This time of year is not about creating new things. This time of year is about reflection and introspection. So take this time to think about where you are in your life, what you can be thankful for, and what you want to focus on going forward, what you need more of in your life. Think about the things in your life that you can improve. What can you do to make your inner light brighter, stronger, more vibrant, warmer? And how can you connect with the positive emotions and feelings of love and the things that inspire you, fill you up, and allow the light within you to burn brightly? And I want you to visualize within yourself the best version of yourself that can come out of this winter season and focus on that vision. What's different about you? What have you let go of? Allow yourself to feel the lightness and sweetness of release. Focus on this feeling and commit it to memory, knowing that this feeling is happening within you because you are evolving and changing within, just like the seasons change outside of us. Sit in this feeling of knowing for however long you need and take a deep cleansing breath. I chose to close my meditation by chanting Om. I decided I wanted to do some journaling around what I focused on throughout this meditation, so I grabbed my journal and jotted a few things down. The prompts I created for myself were, what do I need to release? What is weighing me down that it is time to let go of? What illuminates my inner light? In what way will I turn inwards and embody the energy of the Hermit this winter season, since the Hermit card was a big focus on the planning of this meditation for me personally. And I also created a few personal mantras for the season ahead based off of this meditation. If you decide to try this meditation or journaling out, make sure to let me know what you thought of it and how it worked for you in the comments below. Now let's get into more Yuletide activities. As for my altar setup, I started, as always, by dusting the area and wiping it down, just getting it nice and clean. I completely forgot to smudge at the start. I'm not really sure how I forgot, but I do smudge the space when I finish, so there's that. I laid down this really nice silver scarf that has metallic knitting running through it to give kind of a snowy feel, and I added this sweet little Santa to add more of what I think of with winter time, which is Christmas, as well as these candle holders that have poinsettias on them to add more Christmassy energy, and an overabundance of crystals. As always, I will put a full list of crystals used below. And I also included some cards, as always. I used the Hermit card from the Centennial Edition Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot, and the Sacred Forest Oracle I used a card from this time around. I believe that's the name of the deck at least, and the card I believe is called the Spirit Guardian of Winter. I really liked what the guidebook said about this card, so I thought it was a really nice one to add. And just to give you an idea of some of the crystals I included: clear quartz, selenite, golden healer quartz, candle quartz, garnet, bronzite, pyrite, celestite, moonstone, labradorite. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything, but I will put a full list below. Just wanted to name a few. I also went extra festive and added a little Christmas tree to the center that I thought was really nice, and some sticks that I collected on my walk up in the mountains, as well as a pine cone I collected in the mountains, and a lantern, of course, to add another element of the Hermit, since I'm working with the Hermit card quite a bit this time of year for this season. Just feels quite right. Lit all my candles, and I, of course, smudged the area, thankfully, at the end with white sage, as well as cedar and I think Juniper. I'm not sure what all I smudged the area with, but I also sprayed the area with this really nice Christmas smelling mist at the end, just to add some of the smell of winter, just pine tree sort of smell and some sort of sweet smells as well. And I think everything turned out really beautifully. I really love the festive energy of this altar, as well as just a lot of elements that feel like this season. So I really love how this turned out. So for my winter craft, I decided to decorate a wreath. I thought this would be a super fun thing to do that I've never actually done before. I buy these wreaths all the time at Trader Joe's. They're fresh wreaths, so all the greenery on here is fresh. And this is actually the smaller size. They sell two sizes, and this one's actually advertised as like a tabletop wreath that you'd like put a candle in the center of, I would imagine. But I always use the small size. I think it's really cute, but I've never decorated it before, so I thought this would be a fun little activity that is perfect for winter. So I got a bunch of stuff to decorate it with at Dollar Tree, and I just grabbed some craft paint that I have on hand at home, and I started by affixing some silver bells, like the namesake of the classic Christmas song, because I'm super corny and Christmas is what I think of with winter. It's just a thing. So I affixed those using ornament hooks, which I also got at Dollar Tree. And I got these little red cardinals there as well that I love. I think they're super cute. I use them for decorating my tree and just garlands, anything like that. I think they look so sweet. I ended up changing the placement of some of these later, but anyways, I also grabbed some ornaments. These are also from Dollar Tree, and they're mini ornaments that they sell. These are good for like the little Christmas trees, like the one that I put on my altar setup. But I actually really like them for regular trees too, just to sort of fill things out with little small ornaments. I took some ornament hooks and looped them through and used the hooks to affix them. This makes it a lot easier than trying to use string or tying them on. The hooks are much easier. You can affix them to the branches or to the wire frame, which is what I did with the silver bells. There's a wire frame running through holding all of the greens together for the wreath, so that's what I did. I took some craft paint and I used a metallic gold as well as a glitter gold, and went in and added gold to the pine cones on the wreath. And I thought this would add a little bit of gold glow, and it was really fun. I liked the way that turned out, and I thought it would be cool to add a little bit of the gold glitter paint to some of the silver bells as well, so it's silver and gold. I was just sort of playing, really, having fun with it and not taking it too seriously, just kind of doing whatever came to mind as I was decorating, so the overall look ended up evolving as I went. I didn't really have many ideas going into it, but I did take some of this color shift green paint and I ended up adding a bit of that to the pine cones as well as to some of the juniper berries on the actual wreath. So those are fresh, real juniper berries, but I added a little bit of this color shift green paint to them and it made them pop and it looked really cute. So I really liked the way that turned out as well. And I took some of that paint, the color shift green paint as well as gold paint, and I started just brushing it through the wreath onto the pine needles. I think it's fir. Yeah, that's definitely from a fir tree. But I also went in with white craft paint, and this is where things got really fun. I had not thought to do this. This was on a whim. I actually went and grabbed my white craft paint and thought, oh, I'll make it look like there's snow on the wreath. So I went in and added white craft paint throughout on the branches. I also added it to the ornaments to make them look like they were covered in snow, and I love the way it turned out. I thought it looked so cute and so festive, so adding the white paint was definitely a fun last-minute touch that I'm glad I thought to do. So love the way that turned out. I also added some white paint to the pine cones, which I ended up losing a little bit of the gold paint that was in there, but there's still some you can see. But overall, I just thought the white paint had a much more striking look that you could see more clearly, so that's why I kind of leaned into the snow effect of the white paint. I ended up adding a few more ornaments later on, just taking my time to do some final finishing touches to make sure it looked exactly how I wanted it to, so had a lot of fun with this. And that's really the point of these crafts, is to just do something that is fun, that you enjoy doing, that, you know, makes you feel connected to the season. And again, for me, the holidays are that. So I think this wreath turned out beautifully. I'm super happy with it, and it has been hanging on my door and adding a beautiful festive touch, and it feels so much more personal than every other year because I decorated it myself, and it's not just a plain green wreath, so I highly recommend doing this. I hope you found an idea or two in this video that inspires you to celebrate this seasonal shift and the true magic of winter. Whatever holidays you celebrate this time of year, My wish is that you find a way to incorporate some of the elements of what is happening in nature into how you celebrate within this season. You may even become aware of how much nature is already a part of your traditions, and this awareness can bring deeper meaning. My other wish is that you surround yourselves with the people you love, the things that inspire you, that you focus on the light that is ever present, that you use the season and time as it is intended in nature to rest, and that you make choices every single day that feed your inner fire and allow it to glow, dance, and radiate the pureness in your heart so your highest and truest essence may always guide you, even through the dark of winter. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Sending you all love, light, and warm holiday winter Yuletide blessings, and a happy new year as well. Until next time, bye.